Thank you. Okay, everybody, welcome to the REDI Commission. REDI stands for Race, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. We welcome you all here tonight. My name is Jackie Steed. I'm the chair. And we're going to have our vice chair, Eric Faulkner, do our flag salute. Okay, and we'll go ahead and do our roll call.
Madam Chair, we are out without our commission secretary tonight, so I'll just go ahead and make sure that the roll reflects that all 7 commissioners were present.
Perfect, thank you. Alrighty, we have a fun night tonight. We're going to start with a presentation from Big Brothers and Big Sisters of the Inland Empire. After that, we're going to do our Pride Proclamation and celebrate our students here in the Valley. Now, just so everybody knows, there is a separate meeting going on across the hallway, so if you feel like you're in the wrong room, the Planning Commission's right over there. Just in case, you never know. Alrighty, so let's start with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of the Inland Empire.
Well, today is a beautiful, beautiful day to celebrate, and so we are honored here. My name is Jennifer O'Farrell. I'm the Chief External Affairs Officer for Big Brothers Big Sisters that serves Riverside, Orange County, and San Bernardino counties, and we're here to celebrate Pride Month and to celebrate the work that Big Brothers Big Sisters does nationwide as part of what we'll get into as our Jedi work. And so I want to start off with what one of our mentors said about this month, is that he says that pride to me is way more than a parade. It is the celebration of us being ourselves without the fear of legal or social prosecution. Diversity is a fact. Inclusion is an act. So thank you for Big Brothers, Big Sisters for embracing our community. And we are grateful to be able to celebrate our mentors and mentees that identify as LGBTQ+. So one of the frameworks that we have is that we believe in a Jedi way. We call it under justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And it started in Cincinnati 125 years ago when Irvin Westheimer saw a young boy eating trash out of a garbage and took him aside, took him out to lunch, and said, I need to do more than just the basic needs. I need to connect and support and be a guide. And out of that relationship, out of that friendship, birthed Big Brothers, Big Sisters 125 years ago and became a model to say that all young people belong, all young people have a voice, and we want to be a way to empower them and inspire them. And so with that became our way of justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion, recognizing that we are bigger together. And so why is this month important to us? It's important to us is because why there's a lot of stats on this thing is that we recognize that our young people do not always have a voice. And when our young people don't have a voice, they don't feel like they belong. And when they don't belong, in many ways, we have tolls of suicide that take place into that. And so our response at Big Brothers Big Sisters is to care and to be a voice and to ensure that young people belong, have a voice to belong, and have someone that is a champion to inspire them and set them forward on their dreams. When we see that many of our young people do not find that they have a space and a place in school or a space and a place at home, we recognize that mentorship can be the key to creating a safe space for our young people. And so we are here to provide mentors to young people to be able to inspire them and allow them to feel like they have a home, they have a space, and they have a voice to be heard. One of the quotes that has been said, I think that is key to why mentorship matters to our LGBT+ community, is that young people in particular are in a great need for supportive adults. In fact, that the Trevor Project conducted a study indicating when LGBT+ community youth have at least one supportive adult, it reduces the chances of suicide attempt by 40%. That is a testament to why young people matter and why mentorship matters and why Big Brothers Big Sisters comes alongside and supports our young people. And so what do? We call it 1-to-1 plus. For every youth that is matched with a mentor, we have a plus to that. We recognize that there needs to be a village of support. And so we have a Department of Family Resource Specialist that connects to counseling support, mental health support, clinical support, and other factors. But we recognize that we want to create an inclusive environment for our mentors that identify, for our youth that identify, and create ongoing support to our staff to be able to ensure that we support our LGBT+ community well. And with that, we just want to celebrate that we defend all the potential, and we are so excited for the REDI Commission to really make us a bold demonstration of care, that all of us matter, all of us are included, and I think that has been the motto of Big Brothers Big Sisters since the day Westheimer met this little boy, is that all kids deserve a voice, all young people deserve a voice, and here we are to do that. And so we are proud to be able to support and come alongside and celebrate Pride Month with you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. What a great night for you to be here. Your organization is phenomenal. And Sean and I have talked for many years about your organization, and you do great things. At this time, if any of the commissioners have any comments in regards to our presentation, we'd love to hear them.
I would like to make a comment. Thanks, Chair Steed. I am a member of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I love it. So I really, behind what you do, really support the things you do for our youth because it's highly impactful, and it leads them on a pathway to success. So keep doing what you're doing. And if you're in the room and you're not a Big Brother, Big Sister, it is an opportunity to get off the sidelines and get engaged. Many of us, our kids have grown up and moved out of the house. I'm one of them. Was in the Navy 27 years. I kicked both of mine out. I'm like, it's time for you to go. Flap the wings and get out. But they know I love them. But the fact of the matter is when they left, I had a void, right? I still wanted to mentor, guide the next generation. And that's why I really got involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters, to be a mentor. And I have a young man who I'm mentoring now. He's going back with his dad this summer. But we've been hanging out at his games and having conversations about dealing with his frustrations and his conflict resolution, and being at home with mom and how that works out, and how he needs to support her in what she's doing, and understanding what she's doing is for his good. So thank you for what you do. Keep doing what you do. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes, I want to echo my thanks for what you do. I had an opportunity to serve in the federal government for a number of years at the Department of Justice, and so where much of the funding from Big Brothers, Big Brothers, Big Sisters come from. And while I can't, from experience, share the impact of Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the data is compelling. The impact on children from the mentorship that you all provide here and across the country is palpable, and it's not centered on a particular thing. It's really about making young people well. And so I just want to honor you for that and thank you for that.
On his second, third, I guess, at this point, what my colleagues here are saying. But one thing that I think that was very crucial to what you presented to us is that you empower our youth to continue to have a voice, but also to find strength within themselves to be all that they can be, and recognizing that potential. That is so critical today. So I want to thank you for being somebody who's providing that in the community. It's really essential, so thank you so much.
Alrighty, we'll go ahead and we'll move on. Thank you so much. And at this time in the meeting, we are going to go to public comments on non-agenda items.
Yes, Madam Chair, we have one comment on non-agendized items. It's Elisa Acuna. And I do want to mention, just for the record, we are actually in this building today because we have a planning commission meeting in the other building, and we did go ahead and reschedule our meeting from tomorrow to today because we know some of you are graduating tomorrow, and we wanted to make sure we still created space for y'all today. So, Elisa Acuna. Okay.
Hello.
And Elisa, for you and all the other speakers, we will be keeping time. So you have 3 minutes on non-agendized items.
Okay, I won't take 3 minutes, I promise. Hi, my name is Elisa Acuna, and I am an area lead for Free Mom Hugs. Free Mom Hugs is an organization of mom, dads, and allies, and this lovely community, our loving LGBTQ community as well, who provide love and affirm the LGBT community at local pride events or other community events as well. We have chapters in all 50 states. We started when a mom in Oklahoma went to a pride event with her son and saw the need for affirming parents. We step in when we're needed. We go to weddings, we go to graduations. In fact, we'll be at RCC tomorrow at the Lavender graduation. We step in where parents or other family members step out because they're not accepting of their children or people in their family. We do the big pride events. We went to WeHo, we go to Palm Springs, we'll be in San Diego, but the ones that we love most are the small community events. We'll be in Hemet, we'll be at Lake Arrowhead, Colton, Norco. We're gonna hit all the small pride events in those communities. And what we do is we go out there, and just as our shirt says, we give hugs. And you would not believe the times that we have had people fall apart in our arms because they haven't had a family hug or a mother hug in years, or they just don't have anybody who supports them at home. And we hug them and hug them and hug them, and we don't let go until they let go. We give out tissues because it's pretty emotional as well. We also do these things called glitter affirmations, and what that is that I do them, and another mom does them. But we put glitter on you, and we give you words of encouragement and words of affirmation. And people tell us that we're looking into their soul. Thank you. You know, the people that we give them to, they say, you looked into my soul, you saw exactly what I needed to hear. And it's, you know, we just feel the love. So it's really important that these kids and adults as well know that they are loved, that they are supported, and that they're seen. The last thing I want to say is that yesterday I was at the Beaumont Unified School District meeting because they're having issues there as well. This is the kind of things that we do as well. And the thing that people said was, don't become a Temecula. And that just broke my heart and was sad. So Temecula, come on. We need to change our image, and we need to show this community, our community, that we love them, that we see them, and we support them. Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, Madam Chair, that was the only item on non-agendized items.
Okay, great, thank you. We're going to go ahead and move on to the consent calendar. So we want to go ahead and approve the minutes from the last meeting. Can I get a motion?
I so move.
Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Madam Chair, we'll note that it was unanimous approval of the action minutes.
Great, thank you. All righty, we're going to move on to our proclamation for Pride Month. As you all in this room know, the Temecula City gives away proclamations every single month in honor of the people that live here, in honor of our whole entire community. So we're happy to have you here today to celebrate Pride Month. And it is an honor to be here. It's an honor to have a room full of amazing students. We're here to celebrate you. We're here to make sure that you know you're included in our city and part of our community. So thank you for being here. We're gonna start with public comments. And I just wanted to mention something really quick. We have this really passionate group, and I love it, right? However, we have to be respectful, and I mean everybody has to be respectful in this room, because we really don't want to have to ask anybody to leave. So if you hear something you don't want to hear, it is what it is, and we will be respectful and set an example for our students. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and start with our public comments.
Okay, Madam Chair, we have 8 speakers. These speakers, because it's an agendized item, do receive 5 minutes. I will call 5 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and start with Jeannie Scharf, to be followed by Slim. So,
All right.
once again, as Madam Chair indicated, we need the comments and the hand clapping and the cheering and all that to be at a minimum, because we really want to get through all of these speakers. So just respect, please. Jeannie Scharf, to be followed by Slim.
Thank you. It's Jenny Scharf, and thank you for that. I'm going to say that. Good evening, REDI Commission board members and Mayor Schwenk. My name is Jenny Scharf. I have been a Temecula resident for 16 years, have taught in our esteemed public schools for all 16 of those years, and in those 16 years have raised 2 amazing children in our beautiful city. Unfortunately, our city's glimmer is being tarnished by the ugly, hurtful actions of a bigoted extremist minority that includes Temecula City Council members and 3 TVUSD school board members. Instead of fostering a space inclusive of the rich diversity present in this valley, these few have managed to fearmonger with semi-veiled threats, enough so that people of color and those in the LGBTQ+ community are concerned about their safety and are afraid to be who they are. My own child, who has been brave enough to speak on these steps of our city hall at other times, is still so traumatized from last year's Pride Proclamation at City Council, where Councilmember Alexander lambasted the LGBTQ community, and many of her ilk screamed at my child, so much so that she crumpled in tears. Many of our GSA students are not present tonight because these people who scream about protecting children really only mean protecting Caucasian, cis, straight people. A local middle school GSA advisor recently told me that he took down all of the rainbow flags and inclusive posters in his classroom because we are in uncharted and tenuous waters in this community. His students no longer feel seen and heard. He and his students no longer feel safe at their school or in this community. That's why I am so grateful that the REDI Commission exists. Thank you for creating not only a safe space, but also a celebratory space, because diversity deserves to be celebrated. So I say to those here in the LGBT community, do not listen to those fearmongers. Do not listen to those bigots. Do not listen to those who tell you that you are less than or not allowed to love who you want and show that love. You be exactly who you know you are. You be you, boo. Be loud and proud. All right? All right. You will probably hear some of those messages tonight, and I'm going to ask you to ignore those homophobes, ignore those bigots, because they don't matter. On top of being a mom, teacher, and ally, I'm also a board member of the One Temecula Valley PAC, and I invite you to come see me and sign up to get in the fight for the soul of our community. Thank you.
The next speaker is Slim. Slim, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I often tell people, what do I tell people? Yes, I tell them that too. Truth is love, and without it, it's not good. But love without truth is a travesty. It seems like in our climate today, words seem to shift and be redefined. Things that used to be normal are no longer normal. Things that used to be right are no longer right. And we're wondering, and we're saying we're supposed to teach our children that lying is a good thing. Slavery used to be legal. Council members like this, they had commissions too. The government said it was okay. They had scientists, they had books that taught it in school. And yes, white people lied to their children and said black people are not human. But that was the true social construct of the day, and whatever social construct there is at that time must be right. So the people that opposed slavery or Jim Crow laws were called bigoted, hateful, liars. You're on the wrong side of history. Today, everyone knows they were right. The small group that were bigoted, hateful, that told the truth despite the odds were right. And now here we are today. So, I self-identify, as someone mentioned, as a white lesbian. I have gender skin color dysphoria, a white lesbian trapped in a black man's body. I am 6 months pregnant, and I love my husband, which the LGBTQRS TWXYZ community won't accept. I thought love is love. You're supposed to accept everybody. So when you lie, it's okay. You get affirmed for lying, but when you tell the truth, you're called a homophobic bigot, intolerant, hateful. Please look it up in the dictionary, the definition of hate. It does not say people that disagree with you, but that's what, now they redefine hate. They redefine love, and now I'm supposed to accept it. They, them. I always ask people, if you had an anorexic person, a girl that was 90 pounds in weight, and she said, I'm too fat. Well, the best affirming thing to do is to agree with her. Yes, you're 90 pounds, but you are fat. No, a responsible grown-up, a responsible person would take that person to the hospital and see if they can get checked out. But today we're affirming things we know are incorrect, and we're proud of it. So why would we condemn Nazi Germany and American slavery? They were proud of it too, because the law, Gavin Newsom, Joe Biden, today a man can compete with a woman in a sports, and they say, oh, it's the same. A woman is the same as a man, as long as they identify. So yes, I support Pride Month. You can tell by my flag. I believe Pride Month says, I believe in gay marriage. One man, one woman. Because we're redefining terms, and you have to accept the LGBTQ's terms because that's affirming. But they won't accept my terms because I'm a bigot. Well, I won't never bow down to any liar, any deceiver. And please don't misunderstand me. I know you love your children. I know you care about people. I'm not going to deny that. But the fact that you're lying to them and calling it affirming, do that to an anorexic and want you now, after this evening, identify me as a white lesbian. And I'm a white supremacist. And I hate black people. Because that's what you're supposed to do, right? So I'm going to tell the truth in love whether you like it or not. I don't hate
That's time.
homosexuals. I don't hate, well, that's, it's
That's
over?
time.
No, that's the white supremacy time limit. See, we don't go by
Thank you.
white
That's enough
supremacy.
time. Thank you.
It was 5 minutes. The next speaker is Gia Reda, to be followed by Ben Richards.
I'm turning my time over to Rachel.
Okay. 5
Hi.
minutes.
Thank you. My name is Rachel Dennis. I don't have anything prepared, so I'm just going to wing it. I am a Christian mother of a queer child and an affirming Christian pastor. And what I would like to say is that when you are denying the very existence of people and denying their civil rights, that is hate. That is not love. I've listened to a lot of Christian people come to these meetings and quote scripture. And what I can tell you, in my experience in ministry for 15 years, is that every single person who believes in the Bible and believes in God cherry picks it. And they cherry pick it according to what their heart desires. So if you desire to find judgment and exclusion and outcasting people, then you most definitely will find that in the Bible. And if you have a heart that desires to find inclusion and love and acceptance of others, you will find those verses as well. I can tell you from my experience in speaking with Christian parents of queer kids that they are struggling, as well as our queer children who cannot help the way they are. My daughter was outed to me when I was a non-affirming pastor, and I hurt my own daughter with my theology that had been indoctrinated on me. When my daughter was so horribly bullied at her Christian school because of what kids hear at home, and she tried to unalive herself because nobody would love her or accept her, I had to take some steps backward and research what would bring my daughter life. And what I found was that just one accepting adult and an accepting community and an accepting school will bring children life. And if you don't, it brings them death. So, are we going to choose, Christians who are here, a theology that will bring life to our children, or a theology that will bring death to them? I want to ask every Christian person in here who does not know a queer person or does not know the parent of a queer person to please take some time to sit down and listen. Listen. And then do some research, because I can tell you that the word homosexual was never in the Bible until 1946. And I can also tell you that because of old, crazy, ancient religious laws, there was a lot of weird things you had to do. And what we also know is that we don't need to live under weird religious laws anymore. And not living under weird religious law brings life. Thank you for acknowledging pride, and thank you for bringing life to our children and our community.
The next speaker, the next speaker is Ben Richards, to be followed by Derek Kinnison.
How's it going? Happy Pride Month. 5 minutes. All right, everybody, I'm Ben, and you probably know who I am. I was going to come in here and browbeat everybody, but you all are nice people. And as you know, we're in a big conflict in this country right now. And I am on the opposite side of a lot of you. But I came here to learn and try to understand your perspective. From my perspective, and from a lot of people who are on our side, the LGBTQ movement isn't just about loving who you want to love. I personally wish it was, because I agree with that. I agree with the Proclamation. But to us and the media that we consume, which is not our friends, we're all in our own echo chamber. So this is what we see with the flag. We see desecrating people's venerated religious symbols, turning the cross into a stripper pole. Okay? We see, from what we think, biological males forcibly coming into women's spaces and replacing them in sports. That's our belief. We see pride parades that are not like the ones in the 60s and 70s. Those are the days of old. It's different now. It's complete sexuality. They're walking on top of floats in kink gear with children around. People taking their children to drag shows, and again, we're on our own echo chambers. We're all in there. You see the stuff that they publish that's not that bad. We see the really bad stuff. Grown men dressing like strippers, opening their legs and getting $1 from a child. That's what we see. So I'm here to learn for you all. It's happening. It's absolutely happening. And there's a lot of people from the LGB community who agree with us. And they're out here speaking about the same thing. And they are absolutely courageous, and they're very close friends of mine. And I'm absolutely inspired by them. So I'm not anti-LGBT. All of us, even the church people, they're not anti-LGBT. Their belief system, they love everybody, even though they don't agree. Okay? So that's from our perspective. But here I am. I'm just trying to raise my family and work hard. And I get people trying to put these books in the schools. And they laugh at it, because that's what pride is about. It's about crossing my boundaries. That's why they laugh. And if you think, I'm not saying this is in Temecula. I'm up, some of you know exactly who I am. I'm up and down the region. We've been working every day to take these books out of the schools. But we can't find a common ground. And now, people like me, because of this book, I got Gavin Newsom threatening us that he's going to come down. And the golden question is, who here is okay with this book? Can we find common ground? Look at that. This is pornography. Anyway, it's absolutely. Can you see this? What is he putting his mouth on? There are children here. It's in the schools. Anyway, so this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with, and I'll tell you what. Anybody who wants this in my kid's school without my permission, you're no friend of mine. And we are not going to tolerate it anymore. And I tell you what, Gavin, you get your butt down here and you bring Corey Jackson and you sit up on that dais, because I got 3 minutes for you. And I want you to tell me face to face that this should belong in the schools. But they don't care about my boundaries. It's not right. They don't care about your boundaries, and that is why we're coming from where we're at. But we're growing, we're energized, we're mobilized. We need to find common ground, and we need to talk. because it's not right what's happening.
Sir, there
we
is
can still
time.
disagree. All right.
The next speaker is Derek Kinnison.
It's messed up.
The next speaker is Derek Kinnison.
Okay, you guys.
Okay. As Madam Chair indicated, we do need everyone to be mindful and respect each other. This is a time for public comment, and we will listen to everyone. Okay. We can't get to the program until everybody is settled. Okay. So, the next speaker, sir. Okay, we would really like to get back to the public comment. We only have a few more speakers before we can get to the program. So we ask the audience to please help us get through this. Please.
Okay, you guys, we want to get to the proclamation, and the only way we're going to do it is by sticking to the program. So let's calm down and listen and move on. Thank you.
Derek, the floor is yours, 5 minutes.
All right, thank you. Yeah, my name is Derek Kinnison. Yes, I am a Christian who does take the whole counsel of God's word. I don't cherry pick it. I'm the brother of a transgender, so I do listen, I do research, I do study. Not here to condemn anybody, but I will condemn any acts of violence towards anybody for their sexual preference. Anybody who's bullying, I can fully condemn that as well. That's not what it's about. That does not represent the love of God that I represent. So I just want to apologize to the students who are here, who are being force-fed the indoctrination to the sin of pride. I'm sorry that there are not good parents, adults, and teachers in your lives who love you enough to tell you the truth. There has been a 6,000-year battle from Satan to steal your innocence, your youth, and your soul. I do want to say that Jesus loves you, but he does give you free will. He will not force himself upon you like this community that is trying to hypersexualize you. Please understand that this is not a battle of gay versus straight, left versus right, black versus white. This is truly a battle between good and evil. I am also sorry for all the young ladies who had hopes of being prom queen this year, and prom queen was given to a biological male. That's me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, you guys, let's calm down, please. Thank you. Let's move on.
Congratulations. So, I mean, what a lot of these people, especially the ones with their backs turned, microaggression, virtue signaling me, they have a God-shaped hole in their hearts. It can never be filled with sexual perversions, genders, drugs, alcohol. It can only be filled with one thing, and that's God. So I'm not going to unsheathe my sword. I'm not going to cast pearl before swine. I'm not going to throw scripture out here before this committee. It's undeserving of it. Commissioner Faulkner, I have respect for you for your service in the Navy and your work with the VA, and I have respect for you for the fact that you will sit down and talk to somebody who doesn't necessarily agree, and that's what we need more of. So I commend you for that, and I'd like to have lunch with you sometime. As far as for the rest of the committee, I've only been here once before. I've observed you guys a few times. Seems like you guys are under some sort of demonic influence. I mean, really. You guys, I would not be here tonight if you guys did not invite children. You guys invited children to talk to them about sexual preference. You guys are overstepping parental rights, And anyone, I mean, let's go back 15, 20 years. You would get arrested with felony charges and be on the sex offender list for showing some of these books and talking to kids about sex that does not just have sperm, egg, baby. These teachers in here are taking it upon themselves to have pleasure training. And that you guys can laugh all you want. But I just want to say that you guys are aiding and abetting pedophiles, which I rebuke. You guys should turn from your sin, or you're going to burn for your sin. And with the plus, with all the LGBTQIA plus, what's the plus? Where does that lead? Where's your guys' line? I'm asking you guys, where's your line? Is it pedophilia if a man wants to have sex with a child? I agree. I do agree.
Okay, you guys, almost finished.
Bestiality, incest, sex with dead people. You want to marry your dog? I mean, where's your guys' line? I mean, there's no line. But you
Dennis,
guys
that
crossed
is
my
time.
line by
Thank
talking
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
talking sex with kids.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Judy Farnes. Judy?
Okay, you guys, let's remember the rules, please. If we can all sit down and let the next person speak, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
We have Judy, you're going to have 5 minutes, then Ross Jackson, and then our last speaker, Yvette Anthony. So Judy, the floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Judy Farnetti. I'm a member of the community. I'm also the grandmother of two Temecula Valley Unified School District students, one in high school and one in middle school. I'd like to, I'm a new resident to the community. I've only been here a couple of years, but I'd like to commend the commission for recognizing race, equity, diversity, and inclusion. It's so important for this community. I wish there was more of that at the city council level as well, but we can work on that. It's, you know, support for Pride, it's needed more than ever, especially in light of the current climate of hate permeating our nation and right here in our beautiful valley. It would take you 5 minutes on local social media to find the hate amongst our citizens. I'm a parent of a gay son, and I have other family members in the LGBTQ+ community. Nearly everyone in that community suffers from enduring trauma inflicted by discrimination from childhood through adulthood. Just yesterday morning, I watched a video report from CNN that literally gut punched me. Along with attacks by extremists at pride parades and accusing a drag queen innocently reading appropriate material to children of being a pedophile, the segment that troubled me the most was the worst. To say I am angry is an understatement. The following was shouted from a pulpit in a Baptist church in Texas. These people should be put to death. They should be lined up against the wall and shot in the back of the head. Let that sink in, people. Are we living through a 21st century medieval crusades? What's happened to love thy neighbor as yourself? Thou shalt not kill. What abomination of Christianity is this? The Bible teaches that all people are made in the image of God. That's the basis for human rights. Since some Christians have abandoned this theology, then it behooves this body and all of us who believe in human rights to do everything in our power to protect and lift the marginalized in our society, especially children. We have national figures blaming trans females as contributing to cisgender girls' suicides for sharing bathrooms and locker rooms. The number of trans females in schools is minuscule. Transgender females have become the new boogeyman for politicians. Those who choose to educate themselves on facts rather than false propaganda know how preposterous that notion is. This is a national disgrace and attributable to discriminatory laws frequently targeting children being passed in states across the country. Discrimination is discrimination in any form. Our LGBTQ plus children and adults are especially vulnerable right now with internal forces in our city who wish to marginalize their place and worth in this community. Apparently, someone has bantered around, and it's proven tonight, that the plus in LGBTQ plus stands for pedophilia or bestiality. These are denigrating, defamatory, and false terms. LGBTQIA stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer or questioning, intersex, asexual, and others. The plus represents other sexual identities, including pansexual and two-spirit, which is pan-Indigenous American identity. It is incumbent on everyone to educate themselves on these terms, the science behind them, and use them appropriately. Please join me in championing these precious souls of every age and their many contributions to our community, and begin today with a recognition of Pride Month by this commission. Thank you.
The next speaker is Ross Jackson. Ross Jackson, to be followed by our final speaker, Yvette Anthony.
Good evening, commissioners and ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tone it down just about 20 notches here for a second, and I'm going to talk about what we're actually doing here and the whole reason, the purpose we are doing here. I stand before you today to ask questions about race, equity, diversity, and inclusion. These topics are the most important in our society of late. We strive to build a world that embraces and uplifts every individual, regardless of their background, identity, or their knowledge, and we progress and to help them understand and recognizing who they are. We're not here to demean anybody. We're here to help everybody. We have witnessed significant strides in recognizing and celebrating the gay community, and we give them recognition and applaud them for the efforts granted that they have been through the struggles and in providing education on this lifestyle. However, seeing their struggles and their achievements should not be a reason to acknowledge them throughout the entire month. Please, let me get to it. This is disheartening to me, not to anybody else. We have come a long way in promoting and understanding the acceptance, equal rights of all groups, not just one, all groups. And the community has accepted all groups as well. Be that as it may, you may not believe this. However, seeing the struggles and the achievements should not mean that they get a whole month of celebrations. Look at the fact is, in the course of the year, as being a veteran, how many veterans do I have in this room? And if you could, stand up and we'll applaud you. You get one day a year as a veteran. Then we get one day a year to remember the soldiers that died for us and support us. These guys spent years of serving this country, and what we've done in the case is only provided them one day. No. Moreover, we have lost sight of our overarching goals, creating the fair and just world for all inhabitants. In our pursuit of equity, inclusion, and division, we have we have marginalized groups receive respects and recognition. What about the children that are the unhoused children that are sleeping on the streets? What about the mothers?
Okay, you guys, that's a first warning. We need to let him finish speaking, please. Thank you.
You know, I came in here with good intentions, to be fair and honest with all of you. Being a politician is not what I want to be. I have no agenda to be here other than to help support. But yet when you get criticism, people that are verbally abusive to you, turning their backs on people who are trying to talk to you in their own opinion is not fair. You're just as bad as they are. You turn your back on the word and you don't want to hear it. But yet your word is expected to be heard. You get in their face and you yell and scream at them until they hear you. What is wrong with you and them? What's the difference? There is none. Embrace the diversity of ideas and perspectives that make our country vibrant. Also, while recognizing the importance of the unified symbol that we have in this country. The symbol is the United States flag. We all stood up and said the Pledge of Allegiance. I have no problems with you for raising your flag as a gay pride flag. I have no problems doing that at all. I have a Navy flag, I have an Air Force flag, I have a Marine flag that we fly proudly at our house. There is no difference. In your opinion, your flag is yours. So please, I want you to understand, and I'm not up here to dictate my thoughts to you. I want you to take the thoughts that I just said and add them to your thoughts and see if there's a boundary or a balance of words. That's all I ask.
Thank you, Ross. That's time. And the last speaker is Yvette Anthony. Yvette Anthony.
I wrote what I had to say just in the last hour or so. I was thinking about this for about a week or so, and I think for me it's just, I just feel like there's a big gap in our communication, and I'm just really tired of the gay community calling Christians haters. I just think you have it all wrong. So do you not think we love our family members and friends, our gay family members and friends? 100% we do. But it just seems like this LGBTQ AI is something that's just becoming idiotic as far as how many letters we're going to add and exactly the definition of what the plus umbrella
You guys, please stay quiet. Thank you.
Shh. So L is for lesbian, G is for gay, B is for bisexual. That means someone who loves the same gender and another gender. Are there also trisexuals or multisexuals, because there's so many genders now to be attracted to? I don't know. T is for transgender. When I was a kid, it used to be T was transvestite. That was a man that dressed like a woman. Now, I guess they're called drag queens. Would that be, no? Do transvestites exist anymore? I'm not sure if that's been redefined. Q is for queer or questioning. I is for intersex. I don't know what this means. I read the definition a couple times earlier today as I typed this up. A is for asexual, a person who does not experience sexual attraction. The term can also include people who are demisexual or gray sexual. What about N is for non-binary? This website, I only looked at 2. The first one I didn't understand. So this one includes N. Maybe that's under the plus. But it says it's for non-binary, a person whose gender is not male or female and uses many different terms to describe themselves. Other terms include queer gender, agender, bigender, gender fluid, and more. But the plus is used to signify all of the gender identities and sexual orientations that letters and words cannot fully describe. That was the definition in this website. So you are proclaiming gays, I love them. Gays are great. Homosexuals, lesbians,
You
all
guys,
of it.
please be quiet, let her speak. Thank
But
you.
what is the plus? I heard last year that there were fuzzies, kids and adults, I guess, that identify as animals, and they were putting litter boxes in the bathrooms. Are the fuzzies part of the plus?
Okay, you guys,
And would that be F for fuzzies?
that is the first
or
warning.
B for bestiality? I don't know. What about people that want to have a marriage of 3? Would that be okay under the plus?
You guys,
Would it
it's
be?
not a
Are you good
discussion.
with
She's
that?
speaking. Please be quiet. Okay. That's the second warning. We will have to
What
start
about
having people
adults that are
leave.
attracted to minors, like Harvey Milk? Is that part of the plus? What about a brother and sister getting married, or a brother and a brother? I mean, if they're all adults, love is love. Is that part of the plus? I read an article just last week, and I think that article is what tipped the scales for me to come here tonight. Aside from the fact that I'm getting sick of being called a hater, I'm not a hater. Be gay. Why can't gays just be gay? Why does it have to be all this other stuff? What is umbrellaed under this plus? What are you proclaiming tonight? What are you endorsing? That's what I'm wondering. I don't hate gays. And the Christians with family members of gays do not hate their family members either, or their gay friends. Then maybe find some new friends. I read an article last week where women are now marrying themselves for self-affirmation. Would that be part of the plus? I don't watch Fox News. I am here because I am tired of being called a hater, which I've already said, for not being willing to offer a blanket affirmation to everyone for any type of love they want to have. They can represent anything.
Your time is up.
Do you know what you're
Yvette.
proclaiming
Thank you.
tonight? What is
And
the
Madam
plus?
Chair, that is, Madam Chair, that is all of the speakers that we have for in-person. We did receive one speaker that sent in an email. Jillian Larson sent in an email, so we'll go ahead and include that for the record. But with that, Madam Chair, we can go ahead and move on to the program. We actually have a video to be followed. We have a staff video. We have video from Supervisor Chuck Washington. We have the mayor and trustee Barclay here with us as well, so we can move forward with the program. Would you like me to go ahead and play the staff
I
video,
would love for you
please?
to play the video.
All
Thank
right,
you.
so Chris, if we could please play the staff video in celebration of Pride Month. we'll go ahead and roll right into Supervisor Washington's comments.
Hi, I'm Chuck Washington, Riverside County 3rd District Supervisor. Hello to you Temecula students. During Pride Month, we celebrate the lives and experiences of LGBTQ+ communities and unite to support equal justice and equal opportunity for all. In America, no one should have to fight through discrimination and hatred for their right to be treated with respect and dignity, for equitable access to medical care, housing, and the right to love who you love, regardless of gender identity or sexual orientation. These are your foundational freedoms, and it is of the utmost importance that we as policymakers fight to protect these freedoms. While I know this year we've witnessed a startling increase in LGBTQ+ discrimination and violence, I want to assure you that you are supported and embraced by your community. We take pride in you as our students, and your resiliency and courage will secure a greater future for the next generation of students who will follow in your footsteps. Thank you.
And with that, Mayor Schwenk, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Chair Steed, commissioners, staff, students here this evening, and members of the public. Thank you for all being here. And also thank you to Supervisor Washington for sending in his words tonight. We're pretty lucky to have Supervisor Chuck Washington at the county working on our behalf. Also, thanks to Big Brothers and Big Sisters. That was uplifting and empowering, so that was really cool to see their presentation. I actually did prepare a speech tonight, and I left it because I just wanted to speak from the heart. I think some of the words that we've heard tonight and some of the things that I'll say tonight are just better that way. Locally, I don't want us to overlook what we've done in the last few years. The fact that we're here tonight is a testament to a lot of political will, a lot of community support, a lot of energy, staff time, to get to a place where we have a REDI commission, and to get to a place where we're issuing proclamations for Black History Month, Women's History Month, for Pride Month, for the entire month. So let us not look over that, because it took a lot to get here. And I don't want to let some of the negativity that we've heard and sort of mire that. We've done a lot of good work in this community, and we're going to continue to do so. Given the toxic environment, we just need to focus on ourselves, worry about ourselves, and worry about our community. And that's what I'm here for, is I'm worrying about my community. I'm worrying about our community. I'm worrying about Temecula. Historically, as a country, the fight for LGBTQ+ inclusion has been brutal. There's been huge strides forwards, and then there's always something that drags us back. And I feel like we're in a time now where we're getting pulled back in many ways. I'm also conflicted. What is meant to be a night of celebration is clouded with the current environment that we're dealing with. But I want you to know we own this space tonight. You own this space tonight, right? This is our community. We need to let the community know, make sure the community knows that progress, this progress, is worth fighting for. So if I can offer just one takeaway from some of my words tonight, I want you to know that you are loved. I love you. You are seen. Your community sees you. You are valued. Your community values you. You are an important part of the fabric of what it is to be the city of Temecula. You matter to me. You matter to our community.
As mayor this year, I'll continue to work to support and empower you. To the graduates leaving tonight, I wish you much success and love in your future, the next phase of your life, in wherever you go. I know you're going to thrive. I know you're going to be loved. I know you're going to be accepted. I know the communities that you're going to go to are going to embrace you, and you're going to make them a better community for who you are. So thank you again for all being here tonight. I'm available for hugs if anyone wants one. And in fact, I might need it more than you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Schwenk. And for the record, Mayor Schwenk gives the best hugs. We also have with us an unexpected guest, Trustee Allison Barclay. The floor is yours.
Wow, thanks you guys. I need to come more often. You make me feel so bored. Just to ensure that I am following board policy, I am here as a member of the community, not representing the school board. However, I've been a resident of the community for nearly 11 years, and I'm an emotional person, just warning you now if you haven't seen me. I periodically break into tears, which this might be one of those moments. I'm honored to be with all of you here tonight, and if I have one message to send to all of our students here, it's similar to what the mayor shared, is that we love you and we see you and we value you. And if there is anyone telling you something different, call me and I will make sure you know. Our community, our schools, and our Temecula families value every person, no matter where you come from, what you've been through, how you identify. That's what's important, is that we love you and you are important. I can say that I hope that we're all learning and growing, and my favorite saying is, once you know better, you do better. And I've grown over the years in understanding. I have not walked in everyone's shoes. We haven't walked in each other's shoes, so the best thing we can do is reach out in understanding to one another and show love. I think any of you who have any religious background whatsoever understand that concept of showing love. And saying you love someone and showing you love someone are two very different things. So thank you to Mayor Schwenk for always being such a great supporter and for inviting me to just say a few words here tonight. And if you're at the Temecula Valley High School graduation tomorrow night, I will in fact be giving you a hug right on the stage. So thank you so much.
Madam Chair, with that, it is the time to read the Pride Proclamation.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read the Pride Proclamation. I'm going to read it one time, and they're going to give it to all 4 schools. And they will get the opportunity, obviously, to put their presentations together. As you can tell, there's a lot of love in this room, so focus on that, right? Okay, the City of Temecula Proclamation. Whereas Pride Month commemorates the June 1916 uprising at Stonewall in New York City, where the members of the LGBTQ+ community and allies rose to fight discriminatory laws that have been since declared unconstitutional. And whereas the month of Pride is celebrated through various recognitions and activities in support of the LGBTQ+ community, locally, statewide, nationally, and internationally. And whereas LGBTQ+ individuals, families, and supporters are an integral part of the fabric of the community and contribute to its overall economy and quality of life. And whereas LGBTQ+ members are represented in the public and private sector as professionals, business owners, educators, students, volunteers, veterans, and more. And whereas Temecula, appreciates the value and dignity of each person, and acknowledges the important contributions of the LGBTQ+ community to promote principles of equality, acceptance, and love. And whereas these contributions include those of the LGBTQ+ youth of the community and their allies, including the Chaparral High School GSA, the Great Oak High School GSA, the Temecula Valley High School Pride Club, and the Rancho Vista High School Pride Club, and whereas it is imperative that the young people of our community feel valued, safe, empowered, and supported by their peers and community leaders, regardless of their sexual orientation, gender identity, or other expression. And whereas all are welcome in the city of Temecula to live, work, and play, and every individual and family of any diversity deserves a safe place and a happy home supported by friends and neighbors. And now, therefore, I, on behalf of our Mayor, Zach Schwank, on behalf of the City of Temecula, hereby proclaim this month of June 2023 to be Pride Month. Okay, you gotta stop because you're gonna make me cry and then everybody's gonna cry and it's gonna be a whole thing. But there's one more line. Pride Month in recognition and support of the LGBTQ+ individuals and families in our community. Okay, we're gonna start with Great Oak High School. We're gonna go ahead and give them their proclamation. So if you can meet me up front.
And we'll go ahead and invite you to come to the podium since the mic is there, and Chair Steed will meet you there as well. And Mayor Schwank and Trustee Barclay are going to congratulate you as well.
Where do you want us to go?
And we'll go ahead, for the audience's benefit, we'll go ahead and the chair will hand out each of the proclamations, and we'll go ahead and take the picture. And then we're going to have each of these high schools go ahead and do their presentations. Okay, next up is Chaparral High School. Chaparral, come on up. Awesome. Next up, we have Rancho Vista High School. Rancho Vista, come on up. All right, and last but certainly not least, Temecula Valley. Temecula Valley TV, come on up. as Chair Steed goes ahead and takes her seat, we're going to invite up Chaparral High School to go ahead and give their presentation. Where you at, Chap? There's the podium.
Hi everyone, I'm Jack Bunlatai and I use they, them pronouns.
And I'm Jaden Legessa, and I also use they, them pronouns. And this is our first year as co-presidents of the GSA Club at Chaparral High School. As queer students, we'd like to thank the REDI Committee for inviting us here today. As many of you know, this is the second ever Pride Month proclamation in Temecula. We thank the queer activists that dedicated their lives so that we can celebrate who we are. Pride Month honors the anniversary of the Stonewall riots of June 1969. This was one of many protests against police brutality and harassment towards the LGBTQ community, especially against queer people of color. It was common for police to raid gay bars, conducting genital checks and arresting cross-dressers, as well as anyone suspected of being queer.
Stonewall Inn was a gay bar in New York, one of the few which were open to trans people. It was a hub for the outcasts of the queer community. Many of their patrons were Black and brown, or youth that were turned to the streets with no other place to go. On June 28, 1969, at 1:20 a.m., 4 undercover cops raided the bar. However, the raid did not go as they planned. The people in the bar resisted arrest from the start. And after those suspected of cross-dressing were arrested and brought outside, the other customers stayed and watched. The crowd soon grew into a massive street demonstration. Through the tension, there was excitement among the spectators. This moment showed that queer people have the power to fight back. Even though queer resistance has existed for decades before Stonewall, this was a turning point for the gay and trans liberation movements. Many early demonstrations were led by Black and brown activists such as Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, who was 17 at the time.
These leaders work towards uplifting queer people and people of color. And as a club, we take great inspiration from them. Over the past year, our club has distributed mental health resources, celebrated student achievement, donated to local food banks, and discussed queer history. We are a community where all students are welcome to ask questions, express themselves, and have fun.
When I first moved here, GSA helped me meet supportive friends at a time when I felt out of place and lost. Walking into GSA and knowing that we've helped even just one more person feel less scared and alone gives me the courage to wake up and go to school, to keep speaking, and to come stand up here. My community, our GSA club, gives me the courage and the hope to keep on living.
I, on the other hand, was initially reluctant to join GSA at first because I didn't want my racial identity to be overlooked. Many queer spaces I've been a part of in the past had few to no Black people and even fewer Africans, which made me feel as though my queerness and my Blackness had to be mutually exclusive. It was only after Jack became one of the vice presidents of the club last year that I started attending the meetings, and now as one of the current leaders, I make sure to include discussions about intersectionality and contributions of people of color throughout queer history in our meetings. Despite my initial qualms, I can honestly say that GSA is a safe space where I feel I can express and talk about many sides of my identity, and I know many of our members feel the same.
As a club, we want to make resources and info about the LGBTQ community accessible to everyone. Our campuses should be places where students can openly express themselves, where they have a place in their classrooms, and where they can safely learn without hiding who they are.
With the recent division in the community, we must remember that Pride has always been a protest. Pride is more than a month. It is a constant fight against hate and division. It is a fight for the freedom to love and exist.
The women who stood in front of Stonewall in 1969, the AIDS activists such as Keith Haring, who I'm wearing some of his artwork here, of the 80s, who chanted, "Silence equals death," shouted that we will not let our people die out, that queerness will survive, and they are the reason that we can stand at this podium.
Recently, queer and trans people have been under attack, not just in states like Florida, but in our town, silencing our voices, our history, and our culture. Queer culture is a culture of resistance, and that cannot be erased. We have always been here, and we will always be here.
We have been here since 1860, when Walt Whitman dreamed of a city where men could walk hand in hand, when he wrote that the dependents of liberty will be lovers, the continuance of equality shall be comrades. We have been here since 600 BC, when Sappho wrote, "I tell you, someone will remember us in the future."
And we are not going away. We will always be here, being who we are.
Good job, Chaparral. Way to represent. All right, Great Oak, you're up.
Do I restart? Okay.
You get to restart.
Okay. Hello, my name is Eva Dickinson. My pronouns are they, them. And I am the incoming treasurer of the GSA at Great Oak High School. Great Oak's GSA is a safe, inclusive place for all LGBTQ identifying teens and allies. At GSA, our top priority is to ensure that every person, regardless of gender identity, sexual orientation, ethnic or religious background, has a place of comfort and community. At GSA, we are dedicated to keeping our peers valued, accepted, and understood. We strive to educate our members on LGBTQ issues, rights, and history. In the last year, we have hosted informational presentations educating the LGBTQ community and our Great Oak our community at Great Oak. Sorry. And our community at Great Oak on LGBTQ figures, awareness weeks, and current events across the globe. Next year, we plan to be even more involved in the community by communicating with our neighboring schools and continuing to educate Great Oak. And thank you to the REDI Commission for hosting us this evening and recognizing our community. It means a great deal to everybody at Great Oak to have this support and an opportunity to share our pride.
All right, good job, Great Oak. Rancho Vista.
Hello, my name is Asher Emerson. My pronouns are he, him, and I have a slideshow that me and my club have made to present to all of you. Why do we need Pride Club? Pride Club offers a much-needed safe space for our queer students. Without the support of our staff and teachers, we wouldn't have the positive community that we need on campus. LGBTQ plus youth who found their schools to be LGBTQ plus affirming reported lower rates of attempting suicide. What have we done in Pride Club? We've created a judgment-free group that is inclusive to all students in the LGBTQ plus community and allies. We have invited speakers from the community to come in and talk to us about their lives as they transitioned from high school to adult life with things such as medical insurance. We've had a Marine come in to speak with us about the changes in the military in the LGBTQ plus community, and we make it a priority to discuss current events involving the LGBTQ plus community. Current statistics. 45% of LGBTQ plus youth seriously considered attempting suicide in the past year. Queer youth who found their schools to be LGBTQ plus affirming reported lower rates of attempting suicide. Queer youth who live in a community that is accepting of LGBTQ plus people reported significantly lower rates of attempting suicide than those who do not. How to help. Acknowledge the queer experience and your privilege as a non-queer person. Take time to listen to the perspectives within the LGBTQ plus community. Don't talk over us, but lift up our voices. Take time to educate yourself and the people around you. When you introduce yourself to someone, you could share your pronouns and ask what theirs are. Be respectful and understand that we are people too. References and resources, feel free to take a look at all of those. Thank you to the REDI committee for giving us a place to present things such as these tonight. Thank you.
Well done, Rancho Vista, well done. And last but certainly not least, Temecula Valley.
Did someone leave this here? Okay. I'm glad I printed this out because there is no service in here. Hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Delilah Drake Davison. I'm one of the few openly trans women in Temecula and the first trans woman in the district, to my knowledge, to win prom queen. Me and my president here are both honored to accept this city's Pride Proclamation, regardless of the constant and consistent setbacks pushed our way by citizens and elected officials alike. While this city has a long way to go in terms of acceptance, affirmation, and support, I consider this a step towards something better. However, unless you all, the city, actually push to make it better, this year's Pride Month will be nothing more than another empty platitude. Due to the recent uptick in the spreading hate, whether it be towards my school's drama program, myself, or the local Walmart, I cannot walk home alone anymore. It isn't safe for me or anyone like me. Trans people across the country have been targeted and murdered at unprecedented levels. And as I see so many people with glazed eyes, silent, doing nothing to stop it, know that you are part of the problem. Your silence is accomplice to genocide. In 1919, Magnus Hirschfeld, a Jewish and homosexual doctor, founded the Institute for Sexual Research, the first of its kind dedicated to studying and unfolding the scientific dilemmas regarding people of queer and non-conforming identities. It paved the way, performing the first gender-affirming care, including surgery for male-to-female patients. And with the reign of the Nazis, it was destroyed on May 6, 1933, in one of the first book burnings, and over a decade of research was lost. In a battle for human rights and protections for myself and others just like me, I ask everyone here, everyone listening, look at the people you side with, not just the people of the present, but those in our history as well. Are you on the right side? To quote Magnus Hirschfeld, love is as varied as people are. Thank you for listening.
Great job, you guys. And I know the prom queen is elected by the student body. So congratulations, the students spoke. We appreciate that. So we have a part of the meeting every time we give a proclamation, and it really is about facts. Facts matter, and it's about helping to educate not only ourselves, but other people in the audience. So we're going to move along to that part, and I was in charge of that this month, so fun. All righty. Pride Month, LGBTQ and population. According to recent Census Bureau data, there are approximately 1.2 million same-sex couple households in the United States in 2021, of which roughly 710,000 were married and 500,000 were unmarried. The average age of households in the same-sex married couples is about 48 years, was lower than in opposite-sex marriages, which is about 52 years. The average age of households in same-sex marriage couples is about 42 years, was higher than in opposite-sex unmarried couples of 39.9 years. The share of female-female and male-male couples with both partners employed did not differ significantly, though median household income in the female same-sex couple households at $92,000 was lower than the male same-sex couple households of $116,000. Both partners had at least a bachelor's degree in the larger share of same-sex couples than opposite sex at 18%. A larger share of same-sex, which is 31%, than opposite sex, 18%, of married couples are interracial. The District of Columbia, 2.5%, had the highest percentage of same-sex couple households of any state or state equivalent. Okay, now we're going to move on to the LGBTQ rights timeline. These are always fascinating. Many of our rights have been a slow-moving train, but we're getting there. So let's start at the beginning, 1924. The Society for Human Rights is founded by Henry Gerber and is the first documented gay rights organization. 1969, Pride Month commemorates the June 1969 uprising at Stonewall in New York, where members of the LGBTQ+ community and allies rose to fight discriminatory laws that have been declared since unconstitutional. 1970, New York City community members marched through local streets to recognize the one-year anniversary of the Stonewall riots. The Christoph Street Liberation Day March is now considered the country's first gay pride parade. 1977, the New York Supreme Court ruled that a transgender woman, Renee Richards, could play at the United States Open tennis tournament as a woman. 1993, the president passed the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, which allowed gay men and women to serve in the military. They did not serve openly. 2011, Don't Ask, Don't Tell is repealed, ending a ban on gay men and lesbians from serving openly in the military. 2016, designation of the first national monument to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer rights, the Stonewall National Monument. 2022, the President signed the Respect for Marriage Act into law, which requires the individual states recognize the same-sex and interracial marriages that we lawfully perform in other states. And that is it. Okay, now we're going to move on to community services. We do have some words from Erica Russo.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Erica Russo, and I'm the Director of Community Services here. We call Community Services TCSD, which stands for Temecula Community Services Department. So if you want to find out about any of our programs or facilities that we offer, just go to the website temeculaca.gov/TCSD. Our slogan in TCSD is that we create community through people, places, and programs. And tonight I would just like to add one more to that, which is and safe spaces. We want you to know that all of you are absolutely welcome in all of our facilities, programs, activities, and events. And we want you to feel like you matter, you are seen, you are heard, and you are included. Because as the lovely speaker from Boys and Girls Club said earlier, All potential matters. And we recognize that here in the city, and we are more than happy to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. Okay, so you've heard my voice all night, and I am surrounded by amazing REDI commissioners, and so they get the opportunity to give their comments at the end of the meeting. So who would like to start? Perfect.
Okay, great. First of all, I just wanted to thank you all for being here. You guys look so great, and I just love all the energy in the room. So thank you so much, and I'm just honored to be a part of the Race, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. So I wanted to let you all know that you are truly loved, that you matter, that this is a safe place right here at the city of Temecula. I want you to know that love wins, and I got a shirt that says love wins, because I really, truly believe that. And I just wanted to say, we love you. Whether we know you or not, you have to have a place in your heart for love. We don't all look alike. We don't all think alike. But the most important thing is we can respect one another. And the common ground is love. No matter what else matters, love will never fail. I applaud you guys, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Commissioner Evanoff?
I was hoping to go a little later, but anyway, first off, commend everyone and commend staff for the great presentations here tonight. I, as a historian, want to remind folks that this effort in Pride actually started in the LA side, not in the East Coast. Cooper Donuts, 1959, or the Black Hat Protest, Silver Lake, 1967. Changing some subjects real quick. REDI is not just about LGBTQ+. It's not about any one particular group. And so one of the things that is established is that REDI is here, and it's here to stay. And it impacts a lot of different folks, including, oddly enough, the business community. And so just recently, the Chambers of Commerce, including the Temecula Chamber of Commerce, put on a business seminar for small businesses so that they can wrap their arms around REDI and how they can process it, how they can incorporate it into either business development or in ways to deal with the public and embrace and include as part of their day-to-day, as well as HR issues. And so we were able to have the first REDI business seminar for small business for the region in the history of our region. And that happened last week. And so I wanted to thank MSJC, who hosted it. I wanted to say thank you to the Temecula Chamber and to all the, which produced it and did all the hard work, as well as all the chambers in this area that promoted it to their businesses and to their clients and to the region as a whole, making important but maybe behind the scenes steps. That's the first thing. Sorry, I'm going to go on a little bit longer than normal. Another thing, we've seen a lot of absurd behavior from members of our community, members of the school board, and it's cast our city in a very bad light. It's one thing to maybe get a bad article, communications guy. It's one thing to get a bad article once. It's another for this story, this topic to continue and to continue to punch us in the eye. But I want to remind folks, and hopefully the media gets some of this, that if they can only see what was going on here tonight, they know that Temecula is far better than what they've reported. I want to applaud the courage of the students, the parents, the folks that are here today to show their support. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of courage. And you do matter. You do care. You have people on this board that love you. And that for those that have a problem, with the LGBT community, read more broadly. Take more time, do a little more research, get to know. There's so much more. The world is so much bigger than what you're seeing. And if your religion or whatever news source is teaching you to hate, because that's what this is, what they're talking about. There's no substitute for it. There's no lie. This is hate. And if your theology teaches you this, it's time to get a different religion. Lastly, and that's what people love to hear, lastly, just know that, folks, there are people in the community, some of them not wearing rainbow, some of them are wearing navy blue blazers, that are, yeah, look good in blue. Know that there are people in this community that are actively fighting for you. They're fighting to bust down the doors. They're fighting to bust down some closet doors, and that they are working hard. But one thing, there's a lot of acceptance in this room, but one thing that's not acceptable is for people to sit on the sidelines. We need you to fight too. It's not going to stop. It's going to take a while, and the fight must go on. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Deutsch.
I'm Stacia Deutsch, and my pronouns are she, her. And one of the things that I learned tonight through listening started with when Trustee Barclay said, once you know better, you do better. And that really resonated with me. So I listened hard to you tonight because I want to know better so that I can do better. And here are a few of the things that I heard. We need to lift up our voices. It's imperative that we do so. We need to make opportunities to share our pride. And that pride is more than a month. And finally, we need to create safe spaces. These were the lessons that you, the students, brought to me tonight. And I understand that I can sit here and say, I'm an ally, but part of an ally is being a change maker, and you all are teaching me what that means to go out and make change. And if there's anything that I can learn from you, please find me, let's talk. I feel very strongly that you were right. Once you know better, you do better. And every day, I want to do better for this community, for Temecula, where I live, and I want to do better for you. So make sure you let me know and educate me on how I can do better. Thank you.
Commissioner Pastorian.
Where to start, right? Let me start here. I want to thank all of the club advisors tonight, and the administrators and all of the educators who provide safe spaces for our students. I had a very real lesson in that the other day. You might take for granted sometimes the space that you have. I shared with a couple of colleagues today, in fact, that about a week and a half ago, I wore a shirt very similarly to the one that I have on tonight. It's colorful and it says love is love. I watched a student read my shirt and back up into a wall. It's completely speechless. And all they could do was give me the thumbs up sign, the okay. And I knew in that moment that person, that young person, knew I was a safe person, that I valued them, that I see them, that I knew that they mattered. I didn't say anything. It was all it took was an action, a simple, I decided to wear a shirt that morning. Do not take for granted the power that each of you have, even in your silence. I will echo what our esteemed Mayor Schwenk said earlier, and Trustee Barclay as well, in the sense that you are seen, you are heard, you are loved, you are supported, but most of all, you are included. I am incredibly proud tonight, but I'm also filled with pride. And that is because of every single person in this room, including those that had negative words to say. And I will tell you why. You're uncomfortable, and that's okay, because that's where change happens. I would think and make sure that people do think as they speak that words do hurt. Words do matter. Choose your words wisely. We can lift people up and we can tear them down. We don't unify through division. We just don't. And unity and love, as my esteemed colleague over here mentioned, love does win. It is all through love. I certainly am no one's judge, and no one should be anyone's judge for that matter. I am proud to be a Temeculan, and I am proud for what this city is doing, but I'm even more proud of the diversity that we show and have, especially in the fact that we share and create a safe place for all of our young people and old people and in the middle people. But know the power of belonging, and you belong here. You absolutely belong here. And also know the power of the affirmations that are given. Continue to share affirmations with one another. If you hear something, don't be a bystander, be an upstander. Let me just say congratulations to all of the graduates. It's a long road, and if you've been actively in this community in terms of LGBTQ+ for all 4 of those years in your high school, kudos to you, because you are a change maker. You are a change maker. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lectors.
Thank you, Chair Steed, and thank you all so much for joining us tonight. It's been humbling and moving and inspiring. My wife has a little twist on your quote, Trustee Barclay. Once you know better, you do better. Once I know you know better and you don't do better, then I know you better. Right? That's courtesy of my bride, Stevie Wonderful Lectors, a word genius. My name's Lyman Lectors. My pronouns are he, him, and his. And I'm compelled, I'm moved by the fight for justice that is exemplified in this room, the fight against oppression. And oppression is part of our society, of our nation. It's been with us for a very long time, and we have made great progress in the fight against oppression and the fight for justice. Every moment of progress, and this is something that our mayor suggested, every moment of progress in that fight against oppression is met by a moment of backlash. The backlash is tactical. It's a tactic of oppression. It's a tactic of a number of different things, and those tactics are not complex. They're predictable. They're actually not different. They happen, they recycle, they regurgitate time and again. Those tactics are dehumanizing, calling people names, creating identities for people. Those tactics are lies, myths, creating false moral panics. This is part of what we've experienced in our nation for centuries. And so I say that because my hope is in your courage, as has already been suggested, in your intellect, your willingness to put yourself out there. And I want to thank you all for speaking out, because it's not easy in a place that doesn't necessarily affirm you to say your truth, to speak your truth. And so I really thank you for that. That's really powerful. But my hope is in the progress. And we celebrate Pride Month. We celebrate African American History Month. We make these proclamations because we have to, because we haven't achieved justice. We haven't achieved equity. And so as much as we celebrate, and it's exciting to celebrate and it's powerful to celebrate, it's also a testimony that we haven't arrived yet, that we haven't made it yet. The evidence that we'll have become an equitable society, a just society, is that we no longer have separate months to celebrate people, right? And the celebration will be all year long for everybody. So anyway, I really congratulate all of the graduates. The schools are in this community are my hope. We moved here to be near our grandchildren. Our grandchildren will be in these schools. And so along with my fellow commissioners, we'll stand in the gap. We will stand there in the gap for you, for other oppressed populations, for other marginalized communities, and make your presence known, make your voice heard. You're valuable. You're part of this amazing tapestry that's in this community, and you're a valuable and you're a necessary part of that tapestry. And so when the fear and the ignorance and the myths come out, stand strong and keep your voice as loud as you can, and know that there are people standing with you, for you, and alongside you. Thanks.
And lastly, our Vice Chair, Commissioner Faulkner.
I've had to set my timer, make sure I don't go over. So I want to just say thank you for allowing us to host this tonight. I mean, your presence here simply sets the tone for our city. Seeing you here and allowing us to recognize you in this proclamation sets a strong message to what we are about in the city of Temecula. We're about inclusivity. And what that means is that we recognize the impact and how our residents across this great city impact our city, not only in our schools, but in our businesses and in our engagements and the things that make Temecula great. I mean, the city's not great without you. We really appreciate you. Guess what? I can speak for me and I can speak for the rest, so we love you. I mean, there's nobody, we understand there's two different sides of the aisle. We're gonna agree to disagree many times. But when I talk to people just like this, and we have a conversation, right? And you may disagree with me, and I may disagree. We can walk away knowing that we've made our point. But know this, continue to stand for who you are. Families, continue to support your kids. We're here to support you. We're here to know what your needs are, how we can impact that across our community. We understand there's challenges not only at the city level, but in education as well. That's not just here in Temecula, that's across our country. The discourse that's going on right now. But we continue to stand through it all. So let's continue to support each other. Let's continue to let us know as a REDI Commission what we can do for you, and continue to just make sure that your voices are heard, and know that safe spaces are created for you. I had an opportunity to sit in some of the voices of the student with Dr. Price, your DEI representative for the school district, and just listen to the voices. Many are trying to discredit those voices. We're having the challenges in our school systems not being in safe spaces. I would never discredit a kid that tells me, Mr. Faulkner, I had an issue in school. Okay, let me put myself in your eyes and looking at it from your perspective. I would never discredit that, because that's your story and that's your truth of what you're going through. And we need to make sure that we continue to create those spaces for you to be safe at school and throughout our city. So know that we stand with you, know that we love you, we appreciate you being here tonight. We appreciate recognizing you as far as this month goes, Pride Month, but we recognize you all throughout the year. So thank you for being here, and thank you for allowing us.
I think he was the shortest out of all the commissioners this month. Ooh, he's timed himself. Okay, I'm going to be really brief. I just want to say that I have loved being in the room with all of you. I love that you all showed up and you wore your rainbows and you wore your pride. I loved every minute of it. Many people came up here tonight and they said thank you to the REDI Commission. And I want you to know we're just community members. We just happen to be commissioners. But the reason the REDI Commission is here is because the city of Temecula. It's because of our mayor. It's about his like-minded council members. Thank God that we have people like him that are able to make these decisions for our community because it makes a difference. And behind the scenes, there's a huge staff when it comes to this city. We have our executive staff that's here tonight. We appreciate them. We have our city manager that's here tonight. We have an ex-city council member that's here tonight. We appreciate all of you because I know it's a lot of work behind the scenes. And lastly, we appreciate our law enforcement. Thank you for keeping us safe. It is important that every student in this room, that every person in this room feels safe, and we really appreciate them being here. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, and we're going to move on to our director.
Thank you, Chair Steed. Chaparral, Great Oak, Rancho Vista, TV, you guys brought it tonight. You guys, your allies, your parents, your advisors, you all brought it tonight in support of each other and love for each other. You know, Jackie Robinson said, I don't need you to like me or dislike me. I need you to respect me as a human being. We are not here. The commission is not here, the mayor is not here, staff in the room is not here to tolerate you. We are here to respect you as human beings. As many of you move forward in school, in college, in life, we want you to know that your community, as you leave us, hopefully come back, that we love you, that we support you, that we trust and believe that you are going to go out there and do amazing, amazing things and shine. We want to thank you for living, working, and playing in Temecula. And personally, I would be remiss as a community mother of somebody who's in the community to not be able to say that in these moments of challenge, also rely on the power of your ancestors. Because they came here before you, they did all of this before you, and they left it to you and trust that you'll do more. So we love you, we support you. Class of 2023, there's cupcakes over there. And with that, Madam Chair, it's back to you.
Okay, we've laughed, we've cried, and now we're going to celebrate, have some cupcakes, and the meeting is adjourned.